Okay, so I am back. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Virtual View Show. I am coming to you with a surprising event of a so called 18-year-old Black doctor um, who opened up a practice in Florida. And I actually saw a few YouTube clips of other YouTubers who, gave some information about the doctor, but it wasn't enough for me. So I decided to do my own research, and I'm here to present it. And it's quite interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and see if we can get started. So in a few seconds, let me make sure. Okay. Okay, so I'm hoping that. Okay, so it says you are screen sharing presenting to everyone. All right, so it looks like I'm on the up and up, and I hear like a video playing, so let's see what the hell that is. It might be coming from this page. Yeah, sure enough. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's just make sure that I'm not going to be talking in vain. Want to make sure I'm on the up and up. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Okay, so yeah, so I want to welcome everybody back to my Virtual View channel. Normally, for my subscribers, you know that normally my commentary has been about the Love and Hip Hop season 6. Thankful that that's almost over. That's a pure disaster. But I decided to come to you guys tonight with something a little bit different. Um, and it's about this doctor. His name is Malachi Love Robinson. And as far as I know, he's an 18-year-old Black doctor, so-called Black doctor, who opened up a medical office in Florida. And I know a lot of people was in shock and awe because they was shocked at the fact that, this kid, he's 18 years old. He opened up his own medical office. And I'm sure, with all that's going on in 2016, this stereotypical, I guess, ideal of a Black guy is supposed to be a thug, an idiot, somebody who doesn't know anything about business. So I'm sure when they found out about this Black 18-year-old doctor, a lot of people was taken back into surprise. Even I was. To the point where I actually decided to do my own research. And I'm glad I did take some time out to do the research. So we're going to dive right into it because this is actually my second take on this damn review. So I'm hoping that this will go smoothly. So let's dive into it. So Malachi Love, he's 18 years old, and he posed as a doctor and opened up his own office. That's what police say. So when I heard that, something didn't resonate with me. Something didn't feel right. And I'm not saying something didn't feel right because of the fact that he was young, he was black, and he was 18. It's just that something to me wasn't adding up. Not saying that it can't happen because, there are a few black, actually young people in this world who are very young. I heard there was a girl, I think she was about 15 years old, who graduated from college. So yes, it is possible. But to me, it just seems like something wasn't quite right. So we're going to dive into it, and I'm going to show you why I didn't think that this was quite right. So they're saying that Malachi Love Robinson, he was 18. He was arrested on Tuesday for suspicion of practicing medicine without a license in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. So let me just say something really, really quickly to you guys. I want you to know that after I did a little bit of research, because I didn't dive really deep as I would like to, because it's kind of late, Dr. Love is not the first, and he won't be the last so-called doctor to open up a fake clinic. Actually, if you guys do your own research, not too long ago, from what I remember, it seems like there's an epidemic going on in Florida where they're popping up these fake clinics. So when I heard about Dr. Love opening up a clinic in Florida, yes, I was taken back and I was surprised. But knowing the history about what's going on in Florida and what's been going on since the early 1900s of people pretending that they're doctors, this really shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Okay, so we're gonna go on. So basically what's going on with this particular case is that somebody reported this young man and they had a complaint about him. And like I said in my first review that I did, I had a funny feeling that the complaint didn't come from several people. It may have came from maybe one or two people. And I believe it came from probably the old lady who was his last patient. And we'll get into that. So anyway, it says just because you saw a season of Grey's Anatomy doesn't mean you could practice medicine. That's what the sheriff said on Twitter. Unfortunately, Love Robinson, he's being held on a $6,000 bail and he's being charged with third-degree felony. Okay. And I'm going to investigate that because I'm not sure if this is a racial thing or whatever, but there's been lots and lots of people, and we'll go through this as you see up here, who have pretended to be doctors. And I'm wondering, did they get the same charges as this young man did? And understand this guy, he wasn't in it on his own. I'm going to show you who was into it with this man. So it says he was caught posing as a gynecologist last January and he was not charged. Okay. So last January of 2015, his ass was giving GYN exams. Okay. And what happened was, while he was at the hospital, which is St. Mary's Medical Center, which you see right here, he was basically walking around the hospital in a white lab coat and a stethoscope and a face mask. And he told the staff that he was a doctor there for years. And, come on, intelligent people, they know this guy is 18 years old. He's been a doctor for years, giving GYN exams at St. Mary's Medical Center. Look, the staff didn't fall for it. The nurses didn't fall for it. So what they did was they contacted the local authorities. Okay. And they took Dr. Love into custody. And I guess an investigation started. But it didn't seem like nothing came out of that. So even though he was in an official hospital, okay, walking around with a white lab coat, pretending and giving GYN exams, even though he went as far as doing all of that at the hospital, it still wasn't enough for them to, stop him from doing what he did next. And what he did next was he decided to open up his own clinic October 2015, along with two other women, which I'll show you in a few seconds. Um, and he decided, I guess he was like, you know what, F this. Everybody else in Florida is doing it. I might as well do it too. So he decided to open up a clinic where he was seeing a variety of different patients. Okay. Which again is bugged out when you hear it. But from what I research and from what I see is going on in Florida and a couple of other states, this is not really uncommon. Okay. So I'm thinking, since this is like an epidemic in Florida of clinics popping up like popcorn, I guess he decided, oh, well, if they're doing it, I could do it too. So that's exactly what he did. So let's move on. So it says that Love Robinson, he had previous run-ins with the law, which was a misunderstanding. And I did watch a news clip, which unfortunately I can't play because I'll probably be on the video if I play a video or whatever. But you can go in the news clip where he said that he never went to school to become a medical doctor. What he did was he was shadowing for some physicians. And I guess he may have heard through the grapevine, maybe a couple of physicians at the hospital didn't even have their degree. And again, he probably felt like, well, if they can do it, I could do it too. And I know that might sound a little bit far-fetched about what I'm saying now, but as we go a little bit deeper into it, once you see the trend that's been going on for years and years and years now, I could see where he may have gotten this idea from. And I was shocked. I actually didn't even know that this was going on. And I'm kind of actually happy that this story did come out, because now, going forward, anybody who's listening to this review, even myself, you want to question everybody that you come in contact with, whether they be a lawyer, whether they be a doctor, whether they be a nutritionist, whatever it is, you want to question, is this person really this person? Does this person really have this degree? You want to do your own research and do a thorough investigation and find out if the person that you're dealing with is actually a real person who they claim to be. It's a lot of shit going on in 2016 and beyond, and people are faking the funk. And trust me, after this incident and the stories that I pulled up, you want to be sure that the people that you come in contact with, especially when dealing with money and dealing with your health and anything else that's a great investment to you, you want to make sure that you do your due diligence and you find out if this is really real. So anyway, so let's continue. So it says, basically he's saying he never operated on anybody. He didn't reach into anybody's uterus, but he damn sure did a gynecology exam, from what he's admitted and from what they've said. And he didn't snatch any babies out, thank God. Okay. So this is his bio. And they're saying that Love Robinson, he created a website and a Facebook page for his fake medical practice. Authorities said he called the practice New Birth, New Life Medical Center and Urgent Care LLC. Now, when I heard this, I was like, okay, he's a so-called doctor. He has to be smart. I looked at a few news clips. He sounded like he was intelligent. So when they said that he created his own website, I said, you know what? Let me take a look at this website. Let's find out what this website was about. And honestly, I want you guys to visit this website, because when I visited this website, I was mortified at all the errors that I saw, the grammatical errors, the inconsistencies, the fluff, and everything else that was very obvious. And if a person would have just basically taken the time out to do a little tiny bit of research, then you would have been able to see that there was clearly an issue, not only with the fact that he looked like he was damn near 14 or 15 years old. Okay. He didn't have any damn degree. Thirdly, the website is filled with fucking inconsistencies and grammatical errors. So just little things like that, if a person would have taken the time out to look at these little things and stop trusting in humankind, they would have clearly been able to see right through this so-called fake doctor. So let's look at this website. So this is his website. It's called New Birth, a New Life Medical Center and Urgent Care. Okay. So right there sounds kind of weird. New birth, a new life. What the hell is this about? So let's read it. This is his homepage, okay? It's a simple website. It doesn't look like he put too much effort into it. Here it's saying appointment requests. It's saying here that we typically have same-day appointment availability. You can call that number for a schedule. As far as the health insurance, it's saying here, we accept most, quote unquote, public and private insurance plans. We also offer special pricing for cash paying patients for most, again, quote unquote, procedures. So right here, it seems like there's a problem. First of all, what the hell? You mean to tell me if you're paying in cash, they're going to offer you a special pricing? Is that what they're doing now in 2016? So if you have cash, okay, instead of a credit or a debit card or your health insurance card, you may be able to go to a clinic and do like a price match or a negotiation or like some type of auction because you're dealing with cash. Right there is a red flag. So if you go with cash, not your health insurance card, not a credit or a debit card, but if you go with cash where things can't be traced, they may be able to give you some kind of hookup. Okay. So right there seems to be a problem. And again, this is a so-called black doctor. Look at him here. This guy, I mean, people couldn't see that this guy did not look official. I mean, for goodness sakes, look how young he looked here. I mean, he looks like he's about 14 or 15 years old. I understand that he was 18. He looks a little bit older now from the news clips that I saw recently. But even at this time, when he was giving GYN exams at St. Mary's Hospital, he looked like he was 14. These people, I mean, these people didn't have any questions in their mind, like, who is this young black kid, like, about to like open my legs wide and let me spread it so he can look into my vagina and see exactly what's going on. But hey, he for some reason or another, he was playing it off. Anyway, let's go back to the website. I mean, like I said, this is absolutely ludicrous. So looking at the website, it says what they offered as services. They offered well-child exams, okay? Holistic and alternative medicine, well women examinations, annual physicals, sports and camp physicals, adult and pediatric immunizations. So let me get this right. Were they using needles or they weren't using needles? Was fluid being exchanged or it wasn't? Because I don't understand, how are you doing a child exam, a woman exam, adult and pediatric immunizations, and there's no fluid, there's nothing being transferred? How are you doing all of this with your mind? So I understand, how the problem could have gotten out of hand. Because if you're offering all these different services just by sitting down and looking at someone, that's one thing. But if you're giving out exams and you're inserting things and you're giving needles and you're giving immunization, especially immunizations, come on now. You got to be you got to be official. You got to be official dealing with stuff like that. Especially when you're dealing with somebody's child. Look, I know as a mother and many mothers, many fathers out there, grandparents included, when you have a young child, even an elderly person who is not feeling well, they're sick. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is take your child or a fragile elderly person to a fake doctor. Because if you're going to do all of that, you might as well be a doctor your damn self. Go on eBay, okay? Go buy yourself a lab coat, a stethoscope, and a mask. Stay your ass home and pretend to be a doctor. Because if you're going to go through a list to go and see somebody who don't even got the credentials, who's faking it, you might as well do the shit your damn self. So anyway, let's continue. Some things that I found on this website was a little bit inconsistent and it was questionable. And I'm going to point it out to you. Here on the first page, I'm on the home page right now. It's saying that their office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On Saturdays, they're open from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Sundays, they're closed. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, somebody would say, right? So keep in mind, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 8 to 2. So let's go to their contact page. On their contact page, it says here, their office hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Wait a minute. Let me go back to the homepage. On the homepage, it says Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So which one is what's the time? What time are they open? From 8 or 9? Okay, so here it says Saturday, they're open from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let's go back to the homepage. It says on Saturday, they're open from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there's definitely a confliction right here. And what I don't get is that he's working with two grown ass so-called Black women who's been in the business for 20 plus, 30 plus, damn near 40 plus years. And you mean to tell me that nobody took the time out to see what I'm seeing right now? That they was such in a rush to open up this bootleg clinic that they couldn't even fix these little flaws out on the website? And you're dealing with people's health and their money, and when people are sick, they're very vulnerable, and you mean to tell me you can fix these minor flaws? So anyway, let's continue. So they're saying Sunday they're closed, right? But if you go back to the contact page, they're saying here that Saturday and Sunday they offer urgent care hours from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is obviously conflicting with their office hours of 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So my question is there two different offices, one that's an urgent care office and one that's a regular medical office? Because I don't understand how we have two different hours here that obviously conflict with each other. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I thought something was very, very odd about that. But maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Who knows? So let's go back to the website. Okay, so that's the problem right there. I'm shocked that nobody was able to peep that, but I guess there was in such a rush to pretend or to come up with this elaborate scheme that nobody took the time out. Okay, So we went over the services, which they clearly explain their services on the home page, but for some reason or another, when you click on the tab of the services, it's totally fucking blank. There's nothing here. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm seeing this where it says type your paragraph here, which is crazy. I mean, what the hell is this doing here? And this is a doctor's office. So obviously, again, it was such a big rush that they couldn't even get that right. And you mean to tell me you can drop a couple of $100s on an official web designer to get this shit together that he had to do it himself? Now I'm seeing why shit went down the way it did, because they didn't do shit right. So let's go to the staff. Okay. Now, a lot of people were in awe. They were wondering. Even I was shocked when I found out this so-called unlicensed fake doctor who's 18 years old came up with this elaborate scheme to open up a medical office all on his own while pretending to be a doctor and seeing patients, running game on them. Came up with this master plan to open up a doctor's office all on his own. When I first heard that, I knew something wasn't right. And I'm like, you know what? This guy cannot be the only one behind this master plan. And sure enough, if you go on the staff page, he's here as the president and the CEO, fake doctor, or maybe he's a real doctor. I don't know. And then we have this lady here named Michelle Newsom, who she says she's an operations director. And we have this other lady named Dr. Sandra, who's a program director. So that bullshit story that they're giving you on the news about him doing it all on his own is bullshit. Because no, he did not do it all on his own. We have two grown ass women here, okay, who's in the business of running game for a very long time, who was also involved in this plan. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you. I'm not going to read it verbatim, but I'm going to read to you what his bio says. It says he is Dr. Malachi Love, and he's a well-rounded professional, okay, that treats and cares for patients using a system of practice that bases treatment of physiological functions and abnormal conditions on natural laws governing the human body. Okay. And what he does is he uses mechanical methods such as air. Let's think about what I'm saying now. He's using things such as air, like the air that we breathe. Okay. Or maybe some type of oxygen or some shit like that. So he's using air. Okay. He's using water. He's using light, heat, earth, phototherapy, food and herb therapy, psychotherapy, electrotherapy, physiotherapy, mechanotherapy, naturopathic corrections and manipulation, and natural methods of modalities, together with natural medicines, natural processed foods, and herbs and natural and nature's remedies. Are we serious here? Are we serious? So basically, this guy, I mean, he's using fucking basic necessities that we use every day, such as air, water, light, heat, earth, manipulation. This is what he's using to take care of patients. Now you see the problem? So let's move down to this woman here. Her name is Michelle L. Newsom. She's an operations director. I'm going to read you her bio and I'm going to point something out to you. Okay, so they're saying that her name is Michelle Newsom, but she's been a part of the West Palm Beach, Florida community for 32 years, okay? And she's happily married to her amazing husband, Michael, for 18 wonderful years, okay? Miss Newsom has limited, look at this here. Miss Newsom has limited experience in the medical field. They should have put a comma right there. But has great knowledge in the fields of business operations. Right there should have been a red flag. Right there should have told any person with sense that you're walking into a clinic with a doctor who looks like he's 15 years old and he's using basic shit that you use every day naturally, unconsciously, such as air, water, light, heat, and earth. And you have this girl here, I'm sorry, not girl, but you have this woman here, Michelle, who clearly said here on her bio that she has limited experience in the medical field, but has great knowledge in the field of business operations. And my question is, if you have great knowledge in the business of operations, you mean to tell me you did not take the time out once this website was up and running, that you did not see the grammatical errors that's clearly in your bio, the conflicting office hours, okay, the fact that you're negotiating cash payments? You mean to tell me you didn't take the time out as a businesswoman to see these things, and you're dealing with people's health? So let's move on. So it says, along with her years of experience in the operations management, Miss Newsom is a full-time grandmother. Look at the spelling of this word right here. They spelled it Grandmorther. Grandmother, that's not how you spell grandmother. And her being a full-time grandmother has nothing to do with the fact that people are going into this facility not feeling well, obviously seeking out medical attention. I'm sure they can care less about her being a full-time grandmother. And how is it that you're a full-time grandmother and you're operating a medical facility? Unless you're taking the grandkids with you to the doctor's office, which makes absolutely no sense to me. So anyway, let's continue. So it says Miss Newsom also handles community events and is also a key member in our marketing platform. I'm sure she is. Miss Newsom is a very faith-based and loves to help out anyone she can. Okay. She's looking forward to many years here at the NBNL Medical Center and hopes to enjoy each and every one of them. Okay. So they opened up this business in October. So let's go back. So January 2015, his ass got busted in the hospital because he was giving GYN's exams, walking around the hospital with a medical white lab coat and a stethoscope. He went down and talked to the officers, which I guess at that time they didn't do anything. So I guess he felt like if he got away with that, he can continue. Okay. And she's talking about helping everyone. Is this really helping everyone? So let's move on. So we have another lady here. Her name is Dr. Sandra J. White. And it kind of caught me off guard because I'm like, okay, he's a doctor. Okay. Then we have our operations director here. But let me read her bio. Is she really a doctor? So I'm going to read the bio here. And I'm not going to really go into what I find very fishy about her bio, but I'll read it to you and I'll, take a moment so you can really think about what is this clinic about and where were they planning on going? Well, I mean, how far were they planning on going with this facility? Okay. So it says here, Dr. Sandra J. White is a program director for all programs at the NBNL Medical Center. Dr. White is also our implementation specialist in conjunction with Joint Commission, accreditation, healthcare certification. Dr. White has 40 years of experience in administration, as well as a CEO and founder for one of the Palm Beach County's leading HIV/AIDS organizations, which was backed by the state of Florida's Health Department and Centers for Disease Control. Think about that. Dr. White recently received her honorary doctorate in divinity for her many years of teaching and pastoring in ministry, an excellent community service for over 30 years. So, is that what it takes to be a doctor? Interesting, huh? So, this is the website again. Feel free to visit the website and you'll be able to see for yourself. Unless, I'm sure this website is probably not going to be up for too long, especially about everything that's going on. But you guys really need to take your time out and go to this damn website and check out the damn grammatical errors on here, the inconsistencies, and all kind of fakery that's going on. And I don't want you guys to, be under the impression that I'm mad or I'm upset. I'm actually kind of, I don't know how to say this. I'm not going to say I'm happy or I don't even want to say the word proud, but I'm still thinking of a word and I can't right now. But I will say that if this 18-year-old guy came up with this elaborate master plan to come up with a medical facility and have the guts to run game on people with children, elderly people, and people from all walks of life to the point where he's giving out exams, I got to give him credit because there's a lot of grown-ass adults, especially in my community, who come up with all kind of excuses on why they can't even open up a damn bodega, which is official, okay? And he had the guts to open up a medical facility and pretend to be a doctor. I got to give him his props for that. I really do. I really do. And you know what? Going forward, I better not hear a damn excuse from anyone that I know in my community telling me why they can't do this and do that and all this shit that's holding them back. I don't want to hear no more excuses after this shit. If this is really real and he really opened up this master plan at the age of 18 with no worries about GoFundMe, begging for money, coming up with excuses, if he did all of this, I better not hear not one complaint from the people that I know on why they can't get their shit together. So let's move on. So I mentioned earlier that it seems to be an issue going on in Florida with these fake clinics that's being like put up. And I don't know if you guys heard, but there's like, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's still going on, but there's like a lot of fake clinics popping up in Florida, and I'm sure other states where people are pretending to be doctors, they're pretending to be nurses, and they're giving out pills. So it makes me wonder, did Dr. Love, does he know about this conspiracy? Does he know about all this fakery that gave him the confidence to open up his own clinic? It makes you wonder. So in just a second, hold on.